good, my people? Welcome back to another video. See the title for today. I'm going to be showing you how you can perform a perfect push-up. Now most people, they complain that you're not feeling the push-up in your chest, or it's hurting your shoulders, or anything along those lines. You're not getting the most out of your push-up form or execution. So today I'm going to show you how you can perfect your form, get more out of the push-up, help to build up your chest, your triceps, your shoulders, everything else involved, and get the most out of the movement. So we're going to get into it right now. All right guys, so I'm going to show you from a few different angles how you can perfect your push-up. First of all, we're going to start with hand placement. Now generally we like our hands to be shoulder width apart when just performing a basic normal push-up. Obviously there's a lot of different variations, but for this variation, the classic push-ups, we're going to go with a shoulder width apart stance. We're going to have our legs nice and outstretched. Now here's an important tip: make sure that you're on your toes. You don't want to be on your heels and stuff like that, because that's going to put a lot of strain on your hamstrings. You want to make sure that you're on your toes, almost like you can rock forward or lean forward like that. Again, hands shoulder width apart or just outside of shoulder width. Make sure your fingers are nice and splayed. That's going to give you more balance and control over the movement. If your hands are like this, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. So fingers nice and splayed. You can turn your hands up slightly outwards if that's more comfortable for you. Just find a good place to place your hands so it doesn't put too much strain on your wrist. Of course, everyone is different. Now in regards to the body, we want our body nice and parallel to the ground. We don't want our hips too low here. That's not what we want. We don't want our hips too high. We want to make sure nice, streamlined, parallel to the ground. If you can imagine a broom going down your back, and you want the broom to touch your head and all the points running along your back towards the lower part of your body. So that's a good way you can envision it. So we want to make sure that we get this part correct first. We want to make sure our core is nice and engaged. Now when we're coming down, we want to make sure our elbows are going back like that. Now a lot of people, they make the mistake and their elbows are going out to the side. Now that is going to cause a lot of shoulder pain, and also can cause some elbow pain as well. So we don't want our arms flaring out to the side. That is an incorrect push-up technique. We want to make sure our arms are going back, and then we're pushing back up just like that. Now in regards to our head and neck, we don't want to be looking up to the sky, we don't want to be looking up to the distance. We either want to be looking straight ahead, slightly down, to make sure that everything else is in alignment. Remember, this is a full body movement, so again, you can just look straight ahead if you really want to bring your chest right to the ground, or you can look slightly down, and that's going to bring your chin to the ground before your chest reaches the ground, guys. So I'm going to show you from a different angle just so you can see a little bit better. But everything is very important when performing the push-up. If you want to get the most out of it, you have to focus on these cues. All right guys, so this is just going to be from a bird's eye view angle of what we're looking for. Again, this is how we want the push-up to look. Nice, controlled. When you're pushing back up, you can protract your shoulders. Again, that's a little bonus for most people, is that when you push back up, you kind of want to push your concave your back. That's going to get some extra bonus points in there, make some extra gains. Now I'm going to show you the incorrect way that you can do it, where you're flaring your shoulders. We don't want this. That's not what we want. We're not going out to the side like that. Again, that puts a lot of stress on the shoulders, and that's not a comfortable position that you want to be in to make gains. That's incorrect. So again, we want our hips nice and parallel to the ground, not sagging, not too high. Everything is in a nice straight line going down the back. So again, show you one more time. Right here, boom, boom, boom. Now as you can see, I'm bringing my chest to the ground, or my chin to the ground, whatever reaches the ground first. Everyone's got different chin sizes, so some people with bigger chin, but we're not going to get into all of that. But you can see my chest is coming to the ground, and I'm coming all the way back up, guys. Now there is a big debate online whether you should do them half reps, full reps, whatever. I'm going to say for most people, we want to make sure the push-up is done correctly. So we're coming all the way back up. Now a lot of people will say, well, you're keeping the tension on the muscle there. Yes, that may be the case. However, we want to go through the full range of motion. We want to be strong in all parts of the push-ups. So if I only practice one segment of the push-up, guess what? I'm only going to be good at one segment of the push-up. You want to be able to get that full range of motion where the chest is fully allowed to expand, and then when it comes back up, it contracts. So for example, see, I'm getting that stretch on my chest down here. And when I come back up, we're exploding here. Remember, it's not just about chest as well. The triceps are also getting the work. They're flexing, then extending. If we only go up halfway, it's not going to work. Remember, every movement has a start point and a beginning point. So you want to make sure that we're hitting those both correctly. One vital thing a lot of people are not going to talk about while performing this exercise is getting your breathing correct. Breathing throughout any sort of physical movement is going to be key to how many reps you can do and how well you're going to execute the movement. So for example, when we're coming down, we can hold, and then when we're coming up, now obviously you don't have to breathe that heavy. I'm just exaggerating so you can understand the breathing pattern involved when doing a push-up. But do not hold your breath. I used to be a big you know, victim or perpetrator of holding my breath during push-ups. You are not going to get the most out of it. Remember, the muscles need oxygen, so in order for you to execute properly, you have to push those red blood cells around. We're not going to get too scientific, however, you just want to make sure that you are breathing efficiently and correctly during the push-up so you can get the most out of it. Now, one thing I will say, when performing your set, you want your first push-up and your last push-up to almost be identical in regards to form. We don't want to start off here and then we end up here. That's not it. That's not what we want. We want to make sure that we're doing quality over quantity. So if you can only do 5 with good reps, that's fine. That's it. At the end of the day, leave it right there. But the only thing that should change is maybe you shake a little bit or the rep slows down. Other than that, the form should stay relatively the same. You should be focusing on, again, keeping your core nice and tight, making sure your arms are going backwards, not out to the side, and that your hips are not sagging as well, and you're going to get the most out of the push-up. Just so you can get the body position down packed. So hands nice and stacked under the shoulders. You can do slight external rotation of the wrist. Just find your comfortable point where you feel like you're neutral and balanced on either side of your body. We want to make sure the core is engaged. Our glutes as well. I forgot to mention the glutes earlier. Our glutes as well are engaged. Our body is nice and rigid at the top, and then as we come down, arms going back, push back up, push back up. And that is it, guys. Now remember, make sure you warm up your wrists before you start doing, you know, an obscene amount of push-ups. Nobody wants to go through wrist pain, so obviously you can do different wrist stretches and things of that nature before you get into the push-ups. I like to warm up with like a little dumbbell, make sure I hit it from all angles, and then we can get into the push-ups, guys. But that is how you're going to execute a perfect push-up. You're going to feel it in your chest. Obviously, as these get easier, there is many other variations that you can do, diamonds, inclines, whatever, but we'll get into that into another video. But that is how you can perform a perfect push-up, the classic push-up. Great form, great technique. You're going to get the gains, you're going to build on your physique, look very aesthetic, guys. But hope you enjoyed watching. Make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.